Hello everyone, and welcome to another comic book review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Fantastic Four Volume 1, Fourever, by Dan Slott, Sarah Pichelli, Nico Leone, and Stefano Caselli. This is, of course, the first story arc of writer Dan Slott's run on the Fantastic Four. The story of this one begins with Ben Grimm proposing to his longtime girlfriend, Alicia Masters. Ben at first asks Johnny Storm to be his best man, and Johnny yells at him and refuses because they both know that deep down Reed Richards should be Ben's best man. Unfortunately, Ben and Johnny have no idea where Reed, Sue, Franklin, Valeria, and the rest of the Future Foundation are at this time. They've been gone for years, and nobody knows if they'll ever return. Meanwhile, we learn that the Future Foundation is traveling all across the multiverse and using Franklin Richards' powers to create new universes in an effort to repair it after the events of the Secret Wars crossover event. Everything appears to be going well until a new villain appears called the Griever at the End of All Things and attempts to undo the work that the Future Foundation has done thus far. This new threat leads to Marvel's first family reuniting once again to save the repairs that the Richards family has made to the multiverse. So, I would like to say at the outset that, unfortunately, I would not recommend this story. Dan Slott is not a writer I usually care for very much, but I love the Fantastic Four, and was pleased to see that they finally had their own title again. I've also heard that Slott's run on Silver Surfer with Michael Allred and Laura Allred was really great, so I was hoping some of the magic that I've heard he found with that book would transfer over to FF. This one felt a lot like the Dan Slott that I didn't care for very much during his 10-year run on Amazing Spider-Man. There were some individual moments that I thought were nice, like some of the romantic scenes between Reed and Sue, but overall, I have to say that I thought the writing here felt like an 80s Saturday morning cartoon script. So we have the Griever at the End of All Things, who wants to undo the work that the Future Foundation has done in repairing the multiverse. Supposedly she's some cosmic entity that embodies entropy. She claims that her purpose is to witness the last light fade from the edge of eternity and grieve for everything that was and ever was meant to be. What utility this woman serves in the grand scheme of the multiverse besides being an evil person who vaguely wants to end stuff, I have no idea. She's evil is about as far as we go with thinking through the motivations for this character in the story. The story also builds her up as this supremely powerful, omnipotent being, but like many of the other characters in this story, she's just stupid. So get this, Reed Richards, who is also supposed to be one of the smartest people in the multiverse, defeats this omnipotent being by telling her that she would never be able to stand against the combined might of the entire Fantastic Four as Johnny and Ben are still back on Earth. And so, like the Saturday morning cartoon villain that this Griever lady is, she gets angry that anyone would dare question her power, and allows Reed Richards to access a teleporter so that he can summon his family to the universe they're currently in. You know, so that way the Griever can prove how supremely evil she is. Reed Richards' brilliant master plan is to summon everyone that has ever been a member of the Fantastic Four, because references, so that all of these former FF members can beat up the Griever's spaceship, and she can't leave this new universe that Franklin Richards has created. However, Reed also tells them to save one teleporter from her ship. After all these FF members beat up the Griever's spaceship, Richards does something really stupid so that the cartoon villain can return for future episodes. He tells the Griever lady that she has two choices. Either leave the universe she's currently in and return home using the teleporter he graciously saved for her because after her spaceship has been scrapped, she has no other way of leaving, or refuse his offer and remain stranded in this universe forever. One would think, if you're Reed Richards, one of the smartest people in the entire multiverse, and you knew that this Griever lady was an existential threat to the fabric of the multiverse itself, stranding her in a place where she can't leave and do more damage to the multiverse would definitely be the preferable option. Instead, Reed Richards, in his infinite wisdom, allows the Griever to go home with the teleporter so that she can presumably go home, build another ship, and continue to terrorize the multiverse in future issues. Is Reed Richards the true villain of this story? I'm not really sure. It's somewhat disappointing that one of the smartest people in the multiverse's plan to stop an omnipotent being from destroying the entire multiverse is just to summon more people to beat up something because references. But it disappointed me even more that Reed and this Griever lady also defeat themselves due to their stupidity so that the Griever can return and menace the Fantastic Four in future episodes of this Saturday morning cartoon. Valeria, Reed and Sue's daughter, whose superpower is super intelligence, she's supposed to be even smarter than Reed, is also insufferably stupid throughout the course of this book. Early on in the story, the Future Foundation travels to one of the universes that Franklin has created, and Valeria develops a crush on one of the aliens that exists on a planet they visit there. Later on in the story, the Future Foundation witness the Griever lady begin to destroy a few of the universes that Franklin created, and Reed develops a plan to increase their chances of defeating the Griever. He says that there's a universe they should travel to that will give them a strategic advantage in fighting her. Upon hearing this, Valeria throws a fit and crashes their spaceship on the planet where her crush lives because she's a lovesick little girl, I guess? Valeria, a girl with super intelligence, dramatically decreases the chance that her family will stop the multiverse itself from being completely wiped out, and destroys their only means of getting home that they have at the time because she has a crush on a boy. I get that she's just a kid, I really do, but her superpower is super intelligence. One would think that one of the most intelligent people in the multiverse would weigh the risk of the entire multiverse being destroyed versus maybe her crush dying and the majority of the multiverse remaining intact, and choose not to throw a fit like a petulant child, resulting in the FF's only means of returning home being destroyed. As with most Dan Slott things, this story is full of gags, and I found none of them funny. For example, the one that sticks out for me as being the least funny was in the first issue during a flashback scene where Johnny Storm has to return the Fantastic Four home using the power of song. Yeah, I'm not joking. He sings into this staff thing, and that somehow opens a portal to New York City. Overall, I'd have to say that I did not care for Dan Slott's writing here very much at all. There are individual panels and single pages where I enjoyed some of the interactions between the family members of the Fantastic Four, but they're always undercut by the stupidity of all the characters involved and the badly written Saturday morning cartoon plot. But if you're one of the people who kept Slott's run on Spider-Man at the top of the sales chart during the 10 years he was on the book, I don't begrudge you. It seems like there is an audience for writing like this. Maybe I'm just not the intended audience. I have no idea, but I just have to say that this story didn't connect with me at all. The art in this book by the three pencilers that are on it range from pretty good to a bit rough at times. There are some pages which look great, but there's also some other ones where the faces look really strange and sketchy, like the artist was rushing to get the art done. It's possible that this was just a stylistic choice, but I wasn't all that into it, to be honest. Sarah Pichelli is the standout among the three artists who did the pencils for this story, in my opinion, and I love all the scenes she gets to draw, which focus on the human elements of these characters, like Ben proposing to Alicia Masters, for example. Overall, I would definitely not recommend Fantastic Four Volume 1 Fourever. I didn't care for the writing here at all, but again, Dan Slott has his fans, so if you've liked Dan Slott's work in the past, you may find some enjoyment here that I just didn't. I read all of my Marvel comics on their digital unlimited service, where I get access to everything for a monthly subscription fee. But even so, I don't anticipate reading any more of this series, which disappoints me because I wanted to be excited about a new Fantastic Four book. If you've read Dan Slott's first arc on the Fantastic Four, sound off in the comments below and let me know what you thought of it. If not, let me know what you thought of my review. The feedback really helps me improve my videos. All right, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great day. Bye.